very beautiful morning to you. Welcome. This is Perspectives Unlimited right here on Wales Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. We're reaching you live from Wales Broadcasting House along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. My name is Toluwaleke Alli. Perspectives Unlimited is that platform where we go beyond the news to help you make sense of some of the stories across our various national dailies in order to keep you abreast about happenings around Nigeria and for you to also be a part of the conversations that concern the growth of Nigeria as a nation. So good morning. Welcome this beautiful Wednesday morning. Today, the 8th of October 2025. We're currently live on Facebook. You can watch us live on Facebook and drop your comments as we go on the show this morning. We're live on Facebook at Wales Radio 893 FM fan page, at Wales Radio 893 FM fan page, and on YouTube at Wales Radio 89.3 FM, at Wales Radio 89.3 FM. And together with the analysts in the studio this morning, like I said before, we'll delve into the dailies and analyze some of the stories in our various national dailies. But let's start with the front pages across some of our national dailies this morning. Beginning with the front page of the Nation newspaper for this morning, above the masthead, scheduled flights begin at Ogun Gateway Airport, and it has a rider NCAA certifies Ekiti Airport. And the story is on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. Oyedele, 98% of workers to be exempted from payee, and that's on page 3. Supreme Court reserves judgment in Osun Council funds suit. That's on page 30. Agbamochimbu is acting chair as Yakubu bows out of INEC. And the story can also be found on page 3 of the Nation newspaper this morning. Beer industry seeks drop of tax stamp plan. Story begins on the front page and continues on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Federal government to refinance expensive debts portfolio, says Edu. And that story begins on the front page and continues on page 2 of the Nation newspaper as well. Federal lawmakers promise better deal for Nigerians. And that's on page 6. Natasha resumes at plenary. Story is on page 3 of the Nation newspaper for this morning. Certificate scandal. Naji resigns ministerial position. And it has 2 riders. Decision due to sustained blackmail, persecution. President accepts resignation. The story begins on the front page and continues on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. FCCPC withdraws criminal charge against multi-choice chairman, MD, and that's on page 6. Moving on to the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper now. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, INEC, Yakubu proceeds on terminal leave, and it has 2 riders, hands over to Agbamochimbu. Tinubu honors aim with national award, and that's on page 26. New tax regime. Federal government targets relief for 98% of workers. And the story is on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Osun local government funds. Supreme Court reserves judgment in state's suit against AGF. And that's on page 4. Tinubu writes Senate withholds assent to 2 bills. And it has a rider, says federal government must prevent abuse of funds. And that's on page 10 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Certificate scandal. Uche Naji resigns as minister. And that's on page 3. ACF warns federal government to protect Dangote refinery in nation's interest. And that's on page 27. CDC ends universal recommendation for COVID-19 vaccine. The story is on page 10 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Ogun Airport records first commercial flight, and it has a rider as NCAA approves operations in Ekiti Airport, and that's on page 3. SANU, NASU to protest October 9 over federal government's failure to meet demands, and that story is on page 10 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper for this morning, Tinubu seeks fresh $2.3 billion loan, and that's on page 15 of the Daily Trust newspaper. 2027, ADC sets criteria for candidates, and the story is on page 12. Senate proposes 10-year passport ban on Nigerians convicted abroad. And story is on page 12 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Amukpita may emerge INEC chair. The story begins on the front page and continues on pages 3 and 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Minister resigns over alleged certificate forgery, and that's on page 6. 2,000 Nigerian refugees to return from Niger. That's according to the federal government, and the story is on page 38 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Woman sets husband ablaze. That's on page 10. How discos lost 358 billion naira in 3 months. The story is on page 23 of the Daily Trust newspaper for this morning. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, above the masthead, displaced Borno residents recount Boko Haram invasion, and that's on page 2. World Bank dismisses Nigeria's single-digit inflation target. That's on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. How Abbas intervention stalled minority leaders' impeachment, and that's on page 28. Still on page 28, Science Minister Naji resigns over alleged certificate forgery. The lead story on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Countdown to 2027, Tinubu to pick new INEC chair this week. And it has a rider, Yakubu steps aside. President consults Council of States selection process under spotlight. And that's on page 2. Police pensioners rally for protest after talks collapse. And that's on page 22. Cultists kill 4 in Lagos, Ogun communities. The story can be found on pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. Tinubu access 2 National Assembly bills over policy clash, and that's on page 22. And finally, the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Senate seeks 10-year passport ban for Nigerians convicted abroad, and that's on page 3. Still on page 3, new tax law exempts over 90% of Nigerians from payee, says Oyedele. And also there on that same page 3, alleged genocide, Congressman urges Trump to designate Nigeria country of particular concern. The lead story, North Central, anxiety lingers over insecurity, fate of displaced persons, and that's on page 6. Niles, cost of food production rose by 36% in 2025, and that's on page 26. Abbas, Abia lawmaker clash over Nnamdi Kanu's health condition. That's on page 4. Natasha returns to Senate after 6-month suspension. The story is on page 26 of the Guardian newspaper for this morning. Power generation offtake drop by 5% as Escos lose 158 billion naira. and that's on page 15. 2027, Tinubu sheds political baggage as embattled minister Naji resigns. The story can be found on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper for this morning. And those are the stories across the front pages of some of our national dailies this morning. Joining me in the studio this morning is Chukwemeka Monachi. So good morning, Chukwemeka.
Good morning, Tolu.
All right. It's good to have you on the show this morning. Let's begin with this story from the Punch newspaper. Countdown to 2027, Tinubu to pick new INEC chair this week. President Bola Tinubu has formally accepted Professor Mahmood Yakubu's departure as chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission following the expiration of his second and final tenure. Following the developments, the president is set to name Yakubu's successor after the Council of State meeting in Abuja on Thursday, after presenting the list of nominees for the coveted number 1 electoral umpire position. Yakubu on Tuesday handed over to May Agbamoche Mbu, a seasoned legal expert who assumed the role of acting chairman pending the appointment of a substantive successor. And in recognition of his service, the president conferred upon the ex-INEC boss the national honor of Commander of the Order of the Niger. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan, state governors, and other members of the Council of State are expected to advise Tinubu on the next INEC chair. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, in a statement on Tuesday, which was yesterday, disclosed that Tinubu thanked the outgoing INEC boss for his services to the nation. One of the very important positions to hold is being the INEC chairman. And now that Professor Mahmoud Yakubu is finally dropping the mantle, all eyes are on INEC now, as Nigerians are very much concerned about who is going to be the next INEC chair, especially because whoever is coming there next has to be totally not involved in politics at all.
Okay.
Now,
thank you very much, Tolu. I have my reservations because there is this, one of the key points for electoral reform is that the president should not be the one appointing INEC chair. You understand? In a situation where you have, let's go sporty this morning. You have teams that are playing in a field, and a particular team chose the referee. What do you think will happen in the field of play? So, yes, what do you think will happen in the field of play when a particular team decides to choose, the captain of a particular team decides to choose a referee and linesman? What do you think will happen in the field of play? So, until we are sincere in making democracy work in Nigeria, we keep on having this thing we're having, because there is this English. There is no way. If the people are allowed, if the choice of INEC chair is open to the people of Nigeria by whatever means, by whatever channel, we will get people who will not dance to the tune of those that chose them. So what I'm saying here is that it is still not yet uhuru for us as far as election is concerned. As far as the president still has the power to choose who becomes the INEC chairman. A position as significant as that position should not be left for the president, because he's going to participate in as an election. So why must you choose? So let an independent body. That's why when we say independent electoral commission, I wonder how independent it is. So it is left for if we want to have real electoral reform holistically, the president should not be in a position to choose who becomes an INEC chairman. Look, It is not even choosing an chairman. The issue is that Nigerians, do they still have an iota of trust in INEC as an institution? Looking back at what Dr. Yakubu Mahmoud did with INEC. So, my own sincere contribution this morning is that we are not yet out of the woods as far as there is no independent body to choose INEC chairman. There must be an independent body. Independent body, not somebody that is non-partisan. He has no be chosen by the people. Okay, go and represent us. There is we repose a lot of confidence in you. Nobody will come and and do something that you don't. You give us what it is. But if you, that's why I chose that analogy. Football field, and a particular team chose the referee and linesmen. How do you think the game will end? So that is just my reservation.
All right, you can join the conversation this morning. The phone lines are open 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-1000 or 0915-333-4893, 0915-333-4893. You can also call 0911-3333-893. Drop your comments on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. At Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. The president also honored former INEC chairman now with the commander of the Order of the Niger.
Well, you asked.
Is it a worthy recognition?
Well, what is worthy in our country, except what we are going through right now, is the president just honored him, for service delivered to the country. Yes, it's good to honor people if they did well. I'm not against honoring people, but what have they done to deserve honor? What have they done to deserve honor? That's the thing. So if you have done well to deserve honor, good luck to you. But if you are honored when you really deserve to be honored, good luck to you as well. So it's good, let the president honor him. But the best of honor is what Nigerians think about you. That's the best of honor. It's not what the state, is what Nigerians, whenever they remember your name, oh, this man, everybody will say, no, this man deserves it. You know what I'm saying? So the state may give you an honor, but the people may not give you an honor. And I prefer they had the honor from the people. I prefer it. So that when you remember a good man, there's always the way you think about it. You pray for that person. May God bless this person. You understand what I'm saying? That's why we say, when you go to a place, make sure that your absence will be felt. Your absence. I believe in that philosophy. Let your absence be felt. That when you leave, if this man or this woman has been around. You understand? Than that your presence will always be, that when you are around, people forget about this one. But when you leave, you have created an impression. You have made a mark. People will always remember you.
All right, let's move on to the Vanguard newspaper now. Tinubu seeks NAS approval for $2.3 billion external borrowing, $500 million sovereign sukuk. And I'll take some of that story. President Bola Tinubu has requested the approval of the House of Representatives for new external borrowing and debt refinancing, totaling $2.3 billion. The request comes with another for the issuance of a $500 million debut sovereign sukuk in the international capital market. Contained in a letter read on the floor of the House by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, the request seeks the National Assembly's resolution in line with Sections 21, subsection 1, and Section 27, subsection 1 of the Debt Management Office DMO Establishment Act 2003. And according to the president, the new borrowing is aimed at implementing provisions of the 2025 Appropriation Act, refinancing maturing Eurobonds, and diversifying Nigeria's funding sources through Islamic finance instruments. He explained that the 2025 budget provides for $9.27 billion in total new borrowings to finance the year's fiscal deficit, out of which $1.84 billion, which is amounting to 1.23 trillion naira at the current exchange rate of 1,500 naira per dollar, was earmarked for external loans. And the president urged the lawmakers to authorize the federal government to source the funds through any of the following options: as issuance of Eurobonds, loan syndication, bridge financing from book runners, or direct borrowing from international financial institutions. And the president also disclosed that Nigeria's $1.118 billion Eurobond that was issued in 2018 at 7.625% and maturing in November 2025 will be refinanced to avoid default. Last that we checked, or last that the this particular administration sent letter to the House of Representatives, it was supposed to be the last borrowing, but now here we are again, going for this amount, $2.3 billion in external borrowing and another $500 million.
But Tolu, I wanted to call you, but Tolu, you see, the issue is this. I don't really understand where we are going when it comes to, I don't know whether after our politicians have borrowed and whether they will still be in Nigeria, whether we are still going to come under colonization, because this money we are collecting left, right, and center will be paid. My this thing here is that we are still battling the underlying problems of inflation, unemployment, and a growing budget deficit. I think what our president should do is to address structural causes of the reason why we are borrowing. We were told about 2 weeks ago that no more borrowing, that we have enough money to cater for critical infrastructure as deficiency. And now we are embarking again on another borrowing spree or jamboree. What are we borrowing this money for? What is the evidence of the ones that we have borrowed? How do we let Nigerians understand? Because this money they are collecting, they are doing it on our behalf. Are we not supposed to know what they are using this money for? I am not against borrowing if it is for production. But when you borrow for consumption, when you borrow for something that is vague and opaque, people will not because in a system where there's no accountability, anybody can come and borrow and borrow and borrow and spend like a drunken sailor. What are we borrowing this money for? Tolu, the way we are running this country right now, the way we are going, a time is coming when every Nigerian, because I read one book. It said that modern slaves are no longer in chains, but they are in debt. And Nigeria is going every day. We are sinking deeper and deeper into debt, and we keep hearing borrowing. When you borrow, and the people you are borrowing for, they don't even know what you are borrowing the money for. What is the evidence that this money will be accountable? That we are running a system where nobody is accountable to anybody. A system where there's no accountability, there's nothing anybody can do. But Tolu, I'm scared because I don't understand what we are borrowing all this money for. And I'm sure I'm saying this in the public interest. Most Nigerians don't even know what these monies are borrowed for and what they are using it for. If we see the evidence that this money is borrowed for this and this, people will be people. But are we even producing anything? What have we even? Are we? That's why we are not embarking on taxation as a way of making money. But wealth, we have not looked at wealth creation, because wealth creation is a way to make money before taxation. But now Nigerians are reeling under taxation, under heavy weight of taxation, because money is needed. And yet we are borrowing. And yet we are told that no more borrowing. And yet we have eaten our words, we have turned back, and we are still borrowing more. What are we borrowing for? Does it mean that, and you keep hearing diversification of the economy? Yes, there is need to diversify our economy. But we are still dependent on oil. When we talk of agriculture, because agriculture should have been the way for Nigeria to go. If we input money in agriculture, Nigerians will have food security. But we cannot do that without addressing the problem of insecurity. That is it. I don't believe in Nigeria having only one channel of making money, oil. If anything, now the world is going. Some of these cars they are producing now, electric cars. What if in future we don't even have? We have the oil, but the countries that are buying from us are no longer buying because they have left us behind. What are we going to do? If we are borrowing this money to diversify our economy and invest massively in agriculture and tourism, these are two things Nigeria can make money from. But what is hindering us from developing these areas? Insecurity. People will not come to your country when they hear kidnappings. People will not come to your country when they hear that government is even making peace treaty with terrorists and bandits, which they ought to kill. People will not come. I was in a country called Gambia. If you go to Gambia, they don't have oil. But Gambia has a robust tourism industry. Because it is a country full of river and everywhere you go, you see water. So what they did was that they built hotels in everywhere, high-rise hotels, and yet they feed on tourism. They don't have oil. We have oil. We have all areas. Look at Ikogosi. Look at Obunike Cave. Look at Yankari Game Reserve. Look at this Bowen Tower here in Ibaro here. Look at so many places of tourism potential that we have underdeveloped. We are not looking in the area of tourism. We are not looking in the area of agriculture. We think that importing food from another country will crash food prices. Foul. It won't crash it. Instead, you are enriching the economy of another country. Why can't we be sincere and tell ourselves the truth? Tourism, Nigeria has a lot of tourism potentials hidden in this country, and these are gold mines. Nigeria has mineral resources all over this country, and yet non-state actors are the one mining these things. And yet, we keep on borrowing and borrowing when we even have something that will give us money, if we are sincere enough to develop them. I'm against borrowing for no reason. Borrowing because, and even when you are borrowing, have we been able to curtail our excesses in terms of the way we spend money, in terms of the way we are running government? Because you cannot have a very big as a workforce, and you are borrowing money to pay for. I don't understand, Tolu. If I tell you I'm not worried, I'm scared. Ordinary Nigerians who may not know what is going on, the amount if you divide the amount of money Nigerians are owing, each Nigerian, you know that you are owing. I'm owing. Everybody is owing. And what were we owing for? We don't even know what they use the money for. So if you borrow for consumption, is bad. But when we borrow to develop, because we keep hearing it, critical infrastructure, let us see it with our to me, the best infrastructure is the people. How are we living our life? Are we better off? If we are reeling under inflation, poverty, then what are you borrowing the money for? I'm a father. If I go to borrow money to take care of my children, and my children are for shortcut, my children are not feeding well, and I'm borrowing money, is it not for me to create something that will bring money into the family so that my children can eat well? That's the way it should be.
All right, you can join the conversation this morning, 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-1000. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Mr. Fredia.
Good morning.
My name is George. I'm calling you from Underwood.
Welcome to the show, Mr. George.
I don't know why they rush in honoring the outgoing activist chairman. We have had people who have done great things in this country who were only remembered after their death. Where did this assessment come from before this honoring? That is that. Then the National Council of State meeting that are going to join him to discuss how to choose the next INEC chairman. I pray that our ex-president will join him at this meeting. Staying away from it and later on complaining will not do us any good. He will still be the person to choose whoever he wants if they did not attend the meeting with him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution on the show this morning. 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-1000, or 0915-333-4893, 0915-333-4893. You can also call 0911 33 0911 33 893. You can drop your comments on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page on Facebook. Drop your comments right there, and I'll be sure to take your comments on the show this morning. Still in the Vanguard newspaper, 98% of Nigerians to enjoy crash in tax rate or total exemption in 2026. That's according to Oyedele. An estimated 98% of Nigerians will either stop paying tax or have their tax rate under the pay-as-you-earn, payee category crashed to its barest minimum when the new tax law goes into force in January 2026. This formed part of the clarifications made by Dr. Taiwo Oyedele, the chairman, Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms at the Nigerian Economic Summit discussion session yesterday in Abuja. This declaration by Oyedele, which drew wide applause from the audience, came at a backdrop of several apprehensive statements from the public over alleged increasing economic burdens on Nigerians under the present government. The figure, which according to the tax boss represents about 33% of workers in the public and private sector combined, will no longer payee because they will be exempted, adding that between 33% to 98% will pay lower payee, and the remaining 2% or 2 plus will pay more. There's going to be a new tax regime from January. And, there's been a lot of speculations from different quarters. Do you think that there's enough explanation and enough orientation for Nigerians to understand what exactly this new tax regime means? Because across the social media, today you see the story, then the chairman will come and debunk and say, no, that's not what is there. And then tomorrow you see another story, they come out again to say, oh, no, that's not what it means.
You see, Tolu, I think Dr. Oyedele, I don't know, he's speaking from both sides of the mouth. Like you said, there's a lot of misinformation out there. People are not, there's no clarity. Nothing is in black and white. When, in terms of tax regime that we are going to enter into in 2026. Dr. Oyedele went to Redeemed Christian Church of God, City of David Parish in Lagos, and told them that, look, that prostitutes will be taxed because they are rendering service. Yes, that's what he said. And the people were asking, how do you tax police raid brothels to arrest prostitutes, which means that prostitution is illegal, and you are coming back to collect tax from them? How does it add up? And you are coming back again to say that 90% of Nigerians will no longer be. You see what I'm saying? That is conflict. That is, you begin to hear conflicting stories here and there. You don't even know what actually is going on. This thing you've just said here, right? Tomorrow now we are going to hear a different thing. So we are not really sure of what this taxation is all about. But I still believe sincerely that wealth creation should come first before taxation. No country makes progress through taxation alone. You create wealth. When you create wealth, and wealth will lead to employment, people will be employed, people will have money. And when you ask them to pay tax, they will pay, especially when they see the reason why they are paying the tax. That is why in a Senate climb, you go to that place, people who pay tax can take government to court. Do you know there are some countries I learned that if your car develops fault on the road because of bad road, you can sue the local government because you are paying tax. Do we have such a system here? No. We keep on paying tax. What the tax we are paying? What is the evidence of the tax we are paying? Can we show us the evidence? Now you are talking of taxing something that is illegal. Prostitution is illegal. If it's not illegal, police will not be raiding brothels, which means that it is illegal. And you are at the same time saying that because prostitutes render services to men, they will pay tax. How do you juxtapose it to what we are hearing this morning, Tolu? How? So that's why I said that we are confused. I am confused. Particularly, I'm confused because I don't understand. Actually, this 90% of Nigerians not being, then you are going to tax something that is illegal. How do you explain that?
You can join the conversation this morning, 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-1000, or 0915-333-4893, 0915-333-4893. You can also call 0911-3333-893, 0911-3333-893. Those are the phone lines for you to call to be a part of the show this morning. This is Perspectives Unlimited right here on Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Are you looking to farm but don't know what's profitable and fast to plant? Do you want a business that brings results and income quickly? Then Cucumber is the answer. And World Radio 89.3 FM in conjunction with Allat Farms is here to show you how. Join our 2-day practical cucumber farming training October 17 and 18 from 11 a.m. daily at World Radio 89.3 FM off Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. For just 30,000 naira, you will learn site selection, land preparation, open field cultivation, pest control, irrigation, marketing strategies, and more. Grow smarter, harvest bigger with West Radio and Allat Farms. Register today. Send "I am interested in cucumber training" to 0813-864-2544 or 0803-509-3394. Don't wait. A healthy harvest starts with the right knowledge.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website websites www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817 665 7060, 0707 338 4828, SEC 0209 462 1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Welcome back. This is still Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. And you can join the conversation this morning by calling the phone lines 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-1000, or 0915-333-4893, 0915-333-4893. 4893, and you can also call 0911 3333 893, 0911 3333 893. Those are the phone lines for you to call to be a part of the show. We're live on Facebook. Drop your comments at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Let's come to the Nation newspaper this morning. Certificate scandal, Naji resigns ministerial position. And it has two riders, decision due to sustained blackmail persecution. President accepts resignation. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu last night accepted the resignation of Mr. Geoffrey Uche Naji as Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology. It followed allegations surrounding the authenticity of his academic credentials. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, confirmed that the President approved Naji's resignation. Naji, appointed in August 2023, expressed gratitude to President Tinubu for the opportunity to serve, attributing his resignation to sustained blackmail and political persecution. According to him, he said he has been a target of blackmail for political opponents. The former minister came under scrutiny in the public in recent weeks after reports questioned the authenticity of some of the certificates submitted during his ministerial screening. Despite repeatedly denying wrongdoing, civic groups and political figures called for his suspension pending investigation. And Ononuga said the president thanked Naji for his service and wished him well in future endeavors. So, these exits actually marks the first ministerial resignation over a certificate-related controversy under this administration.
You see, Tolu, when I read this report this morning, I am happy because the man has done the needful. You understand? You stepping down is a good way, but it should not end there. He must be prosecuted. You understand? But he has done what is honorable. Yes. I think if we bring such practice into our country, we will have sanity. You understand? And not every forged certificate is for career advancement. Some of them are for prestige. To say that, oh, I went to so-and-so school. And we have a flurry of certificate forgery accusations all over the place. And it is very, very scary when people forge certificates in order to gain employment. It brings to question some of the things we do in this country. Where it was last year, about how many months ago, some judges in Imo State were sacked because they forged age falsification. Age falsification. Judges, magistrates. And we have a epidemic of fake degree crisis all over the place. People forging one thing or the other because our society is a certificated society that believes so much in certificate, not in what you can do. But do you know where I am worried about? When it comes to medical practice, imagine somebody who claims to be a medical doctor with a forged certificate and is working in an hospital. And the people, and this person will do surgery. Can you imagine what havoc that kind of person can do? It will lead to severe harm, including permanent disabilities and even death, because this man or this woman is not qualified. The problem of certificate forgery should be addressed in our country. That's why, as one of the political aspirants in the presidential aspirants has been saying over the week that, look, INEC should verify the certificates of those who are coming to contest for one thing or the other. Verify the certificate. Let's know what you have and what you don't have. It is not a must that you must have certificate. There are some people I know, they didn't go to any school. They don't have any certificate, but they are qualified in the work they are doing. They know what they are doing, but they don't have certificate. My friend who went abroad, I have a friend. He has all the certificates in Nigeria here. When he got there, he was looking. Do you know they didn't look? He brought the certificate, they threw it away. They told him to come to the job, that let him be tried. When he started doing the work, that was when, after about 6 months, they now asked for his certificate. And still, they sent him for training. Because over there, they don't believe in certificate. They believe that you must have a scale for the work first before we look at whatever paper you have. But in Nigeria, it's the paper. Once you flash the paper, everything is on. Whether you know the work or if that the minister has resigned is a welcome development, but it should not stop there. It should be prosecuted. Let us find out. You remember as one Buhari that was a speaker sometime, his own certificate forgery. Remember Adeosu was not even certificate forgery. She didn't falsify anything, and she resigned. Kemi Adeosu didn't do anything related to certificate forgery. He was just roped in. But this one that the minister said he attended as UNN. He obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in microbiology and biochemistry. If that thing is actually, why didn't the university release his transcript immediately? But they didn't, which means that something is not adding up. If actually he did, he graduated from that school, the school will willfully release his transcript and everything, because to them it's a thing of joy that one of our ex-students is even a minister. But they didn't release anything, which means so what the minister is saying, that the political blackmail is not the issue. I remember Mahmuda is running wild in Kwara State. The governor is blaming the ex-governor as Bukhari, Bukola Saraki, that has left office how many years ago. Our politicians will always have somebody to blame. No, let the minister carry his can. But it should not end there, because young people are watching. Let's see how this thing will end up. If it's brought to book, if it is prosecuted, some people will retract from their step if actually they want to take that route. So it's not just him resigning. Let him be prosecuted, and let young people know that it is wrong to engage in certificate forgery if actually he did it, allegedly, because this one is still allegedly.
All right. Okay, let's pick this call. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, the beautiful radio woman.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. This is Benga Mario.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Benga Mario.
Now, I'm going to tell a different part on what Mr. Chukwemeka just said about the Minister of Science, Mr. Unanji. The thing is this: what he has done is wrong. For him to have given us a fake certificate is a wrongdoing. I understand that fact, and that has to be condemned. But people are saying it should be taken up, that the issue should not lie, or the issue should not end there. That it should be something. It should face the music. It should face the court of law and all that. And my question is this: how many people in the past that have done this same act? How many of them did they prosecute? How many of our corrupt leaders who have stolen billions, how many of them are pulling up their heads now? I'm going to give you many examples now. Yaya Bello, that signed 4 billions of naira, is still working freely. NNPCL, that told us that our refinery is working, and billions of dollars have been spent in that sector, in NNPC, for years past. And as we speak now, the NNPC is not working. It's just like a toothless dog. And none of the refinery is working, despite the humongous amount that the NNPC chair has collected. Despite the money that they are using in funding that particular sector, still no head is rolling. Our current SP, Senate President, do you know he has over billions of dollars of naira, allegedly, that he has a case to answer in the court of law, and nothing has been done, even as we speak, and he's still there, ruling as the number 3rd citizen of the country. And so many, the pension chairman, you can see the collect how much money, pension money that he accrued to himself, that was accrued to his account alone, and yet nothing has been done to that effect. Now here is a minister who has only collected his salary for just 2 or 3 years. So what he did is very, very bad. It's an act that I'm not appreciating. I condemn it. But we're not calling for a sack. What have we done to the people I've mentioned earlier? So I think what is good for the goose is to be good for the gander. So we must, if you want to deal with this kind of issue, we must start from the head. Buhari, when he was the president, the same issue was on his neck. Primary certificate was on his head. Even when Tinubu came on board, we have an issue of a concerning certificate. We don't know where it ended now. And Buhari ruled for 8 years. Despite Francis certificate saga, he ruled for 8 years and no head rolled. And now we are now calling for the head of this Angie. I think we have to have a rethink on this. Though he must face his music, but my point is this: those who have done similar things and who have gone away with our money, they should also face the music. That's the point I'm driving at. And lastly, on the issue of the INEC here, where Yakubu has come, he came, he has done his own part, and I give it to him. But my point is this: the next INEC chairman that will be coming on board. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Now, the next INEC chairman that will be coming on board, we don't want Mr. President to impose him on us. We don't want Mr. President to select an INEC chair for us. We want an INEC chair that will be jointly selected by Nigerians. We want an INEC chairman, the new one that will be coming, we will know its antecedent. We know what we are going to search his past record, search what he has done in the past. We are going to scrutinize him so that we'll be able to know if this is a man that can be bought with money. We want an INEC chairman that will not be bought with money, that will not be intimidated with luxurious things or offers from our political leaders. That's the kind of INEC chairman that we want, not the one that Mr. President will bring to us and tell us that it's going to be the one that will chairman the INEC, that will be the INEC chairman for the period of another 4 years. That is what I'm saying. May God bless Nigeria and bless its 9.3 FM. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution on the show this morning, Mr. Benga Mario. All right, quickly on Facebook. Okay, so on Facebook, Adedamola Okunlola says, beautiful morning to you in the studio. I wish the INEC chairman is not being chosen by the president, but by an independent body, because at the end of the day, the body is not totally independent. If it continues this way, would we have a free and fair election at the end of the day? I hope our votes count come next election because this is our only hope for a better Nigeria. Thank you. All right. Suleiman Sharif on Facebook says, resignation of shame. Was he not screened by the National Assembly before confirmation and endorsement as minister? This is to tell us that most of the senators are just mere president's rubber stamps. Where is Akpabio? Is supposed to be impeached for misleading Nigerians, for endorsing the man collecting salaries and allowances which he doesn't deserve. And it goes on to say, President Tinubu's seeking loan to fund 2025 budget at the last quarter is like we have entered one chance vehicle, because a few weeks ago, Mr. President told Nigerians that there is no more borrowing after seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. What is now the essence of removing the subsidy and the wide tax net, and its predecessors that did not remove subsidy without wide tax did not borrow up to this? My question, begging for answers. Thank you so much. It's time for us to go.
Thank you very much for having me, Tolu.
All right. Thank you so much for being a part of the show and joining the conversation this morning. Perspectives Unlimited returns tomorrow at exactly 6:30 a.m. As I would always say, wherever it is that you find yourself, always ensure to put Nigeria out there in good lights. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. I am Toluwaleke Alli.
FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.